Like and subscribe right now or this spider will crawl on your face when you're sleeping. In this video, we've gathered the most beautiful reunions between animals and their owners after being separated for a long time. Stay tuned until the end. You won't be disappointed. Bear. The Orphaned Wildlife Center in Otisville, New York, took up Sonia the bear after she was orphaned at a young age. Jonathan was one of the people that looked after her here. He was practically a father or a fun elder brother, since he not only looked after Sonia, but also played games with her. Sonia had grown up, and it had been a long time since Jonathan and Sonia had seen one another. Many would say he showed incredible bravery when they reunited, as he went up and personal with her, giving her a bear look as if she was going to do it again. But he appeared to have no doubt it's a fantastic reunion. Dog. Paquita the dog was loved by her family, but she got out of the home one day and couldn't find her way back. She had vanished, and it was later discovered that she had been living on the streets until being picked up by an animal sanctuary. She wasn't going to be adopted until photos of her surfaced, and her adoptive family spotted them and scheduled a meeting with the shelter. Paquita hadn't seen her family in 3 years, so when she was reintroduced to them, she didn't recognize them. She was first reluctant, uncertain, and concerned about who these individuals were. But she opted to at least take a sniff of this guy, and the sniffing and smelling in a little more time gradually developed into, oh my goodness, my family. And this is where you need those tissues. Paquita had been separated from her family for 3 years and had no place to live. She has finally seen her family again and is slowly remembering them. Oh, she's so pleased, doesn't even begin to express it. This is elation colliding with pleasure. Paquita is returning home, and she wants everyone to know about it. Hyena. Dean Schneider, a wealthy young man from Switzerland, resigned his work, sold all he owned, and came to Africa with a purpose to aid animals in need. He is committed to saving and healing sick animals. Among the creatures Dean has saved is a hyena named Chucky, who is incredibly kind despite the frightening stereotype of hyenas. When Dean left the shelter, and when Dean returned 2 weeks later, he was endearingly greeted by the wonderful Chucky. Dean stated that no human has ever greeted him with such care and devotion as this hyena. Elephants. Derek, a volunteer at the Elephant Nature Park in Thailand, has established a special relationship with the animals he cares for. The elephants get so overjoyed each time he comes to visit that they treat Derek like he's one of their own. This is not surprising given that elephants are thought to be as emotionally intelligent as humans. And as Derek stands in a field and calls out Kanla's name, there is a flurry of activity. It's an amazing sight to see them quickly hug him with their trunks and begin warmly adoring him. Horse. After returning to the pasture after a 3-week vacation, the woman noticed her best friend Lucky Hoof approaching the pasture and began calling out to her horse to try to get her attention. At first, her horse appeared cautious and puzzled as to who was calling him from so far away. But once he realized who was calling him, the curious horse threw caution to the wind and began sprinting towards the woman as Lucky Hoof came face to face with the woman. He cuddles her neck right away, inhaling her smell as if he'd been missing his joyful brought out for a walk. Cheetah. Dolph Volker is an American, but has spent almost 4 years volunteering at the Cheetah Experience Breeding Center in Bloemfontein, South Africa. After more than a year apart from the animal advocate, Dolph encountered one of the predators called Gabriel when he was just 8 months old, and the two established a remarkable relationship. When the predator is reunited with his closest buddy, he recognizes him very instantly. It recalls all of their previous activities together. Dolph is greeted with hugs and kisses from his friend, much like he was when he was a cub. Dog reunited after a tornado. On May 20th, 2013, the town of Moore, Oklahoma experienced a tremendous loss when a tornado, one of the most powerful in recent memory, wreaked havoc for 14 miles, first causing damage in the town of Newcastle before tearing through Moore. 2 days after a tornado destroyed Raquel Brown's home in Moore, Oklahoma, She returned home with CBS News correspondent Steve Hartman during an interview. Raquel spotted her dog Charlie, who came out of his house as he heard Raquel's voice. After seeing his master again, he begins to leap with joy. Lion. Malika and Adele, two abandoned cubs, are greeted by a woman who cared for them. Their mother separated them when they were cubs, and they were sent to a big cat rescue facility in Slovakia. Their parents had been employed in circuses across Eastern Europe, provincial Makila. When Zima Nova arrives, the big cats by the names of Bob, Malika, and Adele bound up to the gate to joyfully greet her. They even rolled up their paws around her neck and gripped her in a gigantic show of affection. It's evident that the lion will always love their kind-hearted godmother who helped to give them a second chance at life. Chimpanzee. Linguini reconnected with the couple who saved his life. Instagram-renowned chimp Labonte couldn't control his joy when he was just reunited with the parents who saved his life when he was born with pneumonia. Limbani leaped into the arms of his previous caregiver Jorge and gave him a tremendous embrace. Jorge and his wife Tanya provided the chimp with round-the-clock care for the first few months of his existence. Cat. Clyde, an 11-year-old cat, had been reported missing for 12 days. 10-year-old Jared had been missing his lovable furry friend, as having grown up with the cat makes it difficult to bear another day without it. That day, Jared returned home from school with no possibility of finding his beloved pet. But what joy awaited him as a neighbor had found Clyde and returned him to his grieving family safe and sound, buddy. Capuchin monkeys. Despite their frantic temperament, these monkeys, Xander and Ohana, grow connected to humans and demonstrate their affection in the same way as children do. Look at how much these infants adore her and how much fun they have yelling, embracing, and rubbing her. Parrots. Birds can express their devotion in the same manner as this parrot Reba hasn't returned home for 10 days after becoming lost in Boston, Massachusetts. The reunion between Reba and his owner Jordan Herring is just wonderful. German Shepherd. Psycho, a German Shepherd, was only a puppy when his owner went to the service a year later. She sees as a stranger at her door, yet after a second of sniffing, they're best friends again. At least the dog understands how to channel that happiness. Golden Retriever. This one will make you cry. After months apart, a gorgeous elderly Golden Retriever is reunited with her master in this video. On the internet, this video has gotten attention. It demonstrates how intimate the relationship between the dog and the owner is. Army Private Hannah Thorker's cherished friend is a 13-year-old Golden Retriever named Buddy. Her dog had been a part of her life for the most of her 21 years, and she had to leave her behind for 3 months of basic training. Buddy was overjoyed when Foraker returned to Cleveland for a visit, and she looked to be sobbing. Gorilla. Witness as Damien Aspinall reaches out to an old buddy, hoping for a reunion. He fostered a gorilla named Kiabi and released him into the wild 5 years ago, but Kiabi remembered this person's voice and refused to let him go. And now, let us move on to our subscriber pick of the day. This image was sent to us by a subscriber. Similarly, if you ever wish to know more about an image you come across, just send it to us. Who knows, we might even feature it in one of our videos. The subscriber pick. In today's subscriber pick, a massive pit bull dog embraces his owner, reuniting with him after a long time. Wolves. Even wolves born in the wild remember those who brought up and reared them, which is amazing because one would think that their natural environment would have long since changed their character, making them tougher and more violent, but not this pack. The Duggar family raised them from a young age, and lo and behold, a year later, they decided to visit their pets. These practically wild dogs are allowing themselves to be pet, almost like domestic dogs, but they're not domestic in the least. In light of such a joyous reunion, they jointly howled collectively. Thank you very much for watching the video. Do like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to not miss any of the upcoming amazing videos. Thank you once again.